A very good afternoon to John Steenhuisen, the leader of the DA. Hello, John.
Good afternoon, John, and good afternoon to the listeners, and sorry for the slight delay.
No problem. Fikile Mbalula briefing the country earlier today about the outcome of the National Working Committee meeting of the ANC and pressing the reset button on the government of national unity, speaking to parties currently in and currently out of the GNU, waiting for the DA to serve divorce papers on the government of national unity. And the DA's, I read out most of the statement that you issued earlier today, the DA waiting to be summarily dismissed, waiting to be invited back in an apology. We're very confused. Are you equally confused, or can you clear away some of the confusion for us?
Well, we're equally confused. I mean, either you kick us out or you keep us in. That's one of the two options. I don't think the childish sideswiping assists in coming to try and find a proper reset.
There is a third option, which is we take ourselves out.
Yes, of course, but why would we do that when it will simply be playing into the factional battles that are playing out in the ANC currently, which have certainly come to the fore in the last 2 days. Look, let me be clear. We want to be in the government of national unity, but we can only be in the government of national unity if we're given a meaningful role in being able to determine the future economic direction of the country. We can have portfolios and we can swab the decks and they can be the cleanest decks in the country. But if we're not in the wheelhouse, we're not going to be able to stop the ship being steered into the rocks. And clean decks aren't going to help you when the ship's going down. So we need to be in the wheelhouse when it comes to being able to determine the economic direction of the country. And that's all we're asking for from the ANC. Not for the DA to dominate, but to have a power-sharing arrangement where we're given a fair shot at being able to influence economic policy and direction of the country. And that's certainly what's been at the heart of our attempts over the course of the last few weeks to get on the table the key reforms that we believe are necessary to get the economy off this terrible low growth, high debt, high unemployment trajectory and onto a new one.
You see, one of the problems that I have, and I suspect other people have as well, is in trying to properly understand this, analyze it, and come to an opinion on it, which one can then defend, is we don't really know what's been going on between you and the ANC. The ANC accuses you of double dealing and hypocrisy and changing your positions. You say that's not true. We're simply putting non-ideological growth strategies on the table, and then documents get selectively leaked, and we've no idea at what stage of the process that document was in discussion. So we end up doing what I do, which is I don't know, or if we're strong DA supporters, we go the ANC must be in the wrong, and if we are people who don't like the DA for whatever reason, we say the DA are the obstructionists.
Well, let me just say this. I don't think there's ever saints in any situation. And, I'm not saying that we're perfect and haven't made, some missteps along the way in the last 9 months. But I would say this, John, that we have certainly not been involved in any double dealing. In fact, I want to make it very clear that during this whole course of our negotiations, we never once went and spoke to a single party outside of the GNU. It was the ANC that went outside of the GNU to speak to other parties. We did not speak with EFF, the ACDP, BOSA, Action South Africa, or any other party outside of the GNU, and trying to come to an agreement. We have been negotiating over the course of a number of weeks. We managed to whittle down a document to which we had 99% agreement on a Sunday night. By Tuesday, that document had been completely gutted and a deal done clearly with Action South Africa, who then got used as the useful idiots to get the fiscal framework containing a VAT increase passed by Parliament. Now, that is the reality. Those documents exist there. They are publicly available. They've been released, and they show very, very clearly that all we're asking for in exchange for supporting a framework is that at the same time we drive the economic reforms. Because if we don't, John, we're going to be back here next February after another year of 0.6% or lower growth, greater unemployment, having a discussion about how much we've got to raise taxes or cut government programs or borrow money. And that's no way to run an economy and no way to run a government.
So what happens now? Who reaches out to whom? You've issued a statement. Fikile Mbalula's held a news conference. Paul Mashatila has had his say. Enoch Godongwana seems to have set his face very firmly against the DA. There is this factional battle. Adrian Basson of News 24 opining today that this is Mashatila against Ramaphosa for the heart and soul of the ANC of the moment. I mean, how do we move forward from this? So who reaches out? I mean, do you write to Cyril Ramaphosa? Do you send him a WhatsApp? Do you have negotiating teams, the leaders of which are reaching out to each other? How do we move a step or two forwards?
Well, let me begin by saying that those reach outs have already happened. We have a document that's with the ANC. We're waiting for a formal response on it. It's been since Wednesday last week that we've been waiting for a response on it. Clearly today, Mr. Mbalula said that they were going to reach out to parties. We look forward to having that discussion, and we would like a constructive discussion about how we move forward, because we want to move forward together, but it has to be on the basis of genuine power sharing. The ANC cannot continue to behave like they are a majority party, they are a minority party, just like us. And both sides need to accept we're not going to get everything that we want, but we must accept that surely we can get some of what we want in this equation. And I think that's the sweet spot to find. And I don't think that name calling and the like is going to help. But I do agree with Adrian Basson's analysis. This is a part of a far greater battle that is taking place. The National General Council of the ANC is coming up in later this year, and I think the positioning we're seeing now is internal ANC factional battles, and the DA has been used as a useful proxy in this battle to draw those battle lines.
We're told by various analysts that there's perhaps not the same kind of malevolence associated with the factional battle in the DA, but that it's happening, that there are people within the DA who feel more comfortable in opposition than trying to make a government of national unity work. Is there such a divide? I don't think I'm going to believe you if you say no.
Oh, of course not. I would never say no. And in any political party, you've got people who have different views and opinions, and we welcome it. But certainly the prevailing view in the DA, and by far the majority view of the DA, is that we have to do our bit to try and make the GNU work. We've got to grow the economy and create jobs. But similarly, at the same time, it is realistic that if we are unable to help turn the economy around, and we're going to end up sitting in 3 or 4 years' time with less jobs and a economy in greater trouble, well, there's no real point in us being there. It would be better for us to take up our seats on the opposition benches and try and get a bigger majority. So, of course, you've got these different streams and schools of thought. But I certainly think that our voters, those who support us financially, as well as the majority of our public representatives, regard the GNU as a huge opportunity for us to deliver to the people of South Africa and show the DA's ability to govern. And I think our ministers have demonstrated that in their various portfolios. And I think it's important that we try as far as possible to stay the course as long as we can, make a clear difference in the economic direction of the country, and it becomes a genuine power-sharing arrangement.
John, we have to leave it there because we are very late for sport. But thank you very, very much. Really appreciate the last-minute availability and the conversation. John Steenhuisen is the leader of the DA.